Hey guys, what's up? I want to talk to you briefly about a couple of lights that I use in a lot different of my shoots. Hey guys, want to show you briefly just a couple of LED lights that I use on pretty much all my shoots that I go on. They're useful, they're tiny, they're small, they're affordable. Yeah, let's check them out. Hey guys, how's everything going? Hope everything's going smoothly for you so far. This summer's really starting off with a bang for me. I've got a lot of productions coming up that I'm really excited about, and so I'm trying to line up exactly the tools that I enjoy using. Everything that I use kind of needs to be condensed because I do travel a lot. Sometimes I'm taking planes. A lot of times it's just my Jeep, and so things need to be small and they need to be lightweight because we're working with smaller crews. So today I'd like to talk to you about a couple LED lights that I use on most of my shoots here. I bring them along with me to pretty much any shoot, even bigger shoots, because I'll use them as like little spotlights or filler lights, and for some shoots they are my only source of light. So one of the things that I like to look for in an LED light is something obviously that's going to be very bright, but also give me a few controls and also be very power worthy. They also need to not consume a lot of power. Obviously you want something that's battery operated if it's LED, or if you want to plug them in, you want to be able to basically daisy chain a bunch of them together into even just a simple wall outlet without worrying about overpowering the house or wherever the heck you're shooting at. So yeah, so a couple lights I'd like to show you today are from Yongnuo. I think that's how you pronounce the name. I feel like I'm always embarrassing myself whenever I try to tell people what these are called. So hopefully it's Yongnuo. If not, please correct me and I will give you a prize. But anyways, this is the first one and I'll talk about it. This is YN600. And then the other one I want to talk to you about is the YN216. And this one's a tiny little guy. And yeah, I'll talk more about this one in a second too. So what I'm really excited about is obviously you can see right away the size of this. I mean, this is smaller than a laptop. It's a little bit thicker than a laptop, but I mean, just physically the size of it, super portable. You could throw this in the back of your backpack. You can carry it by hand. You can take this as in your carry-on on an airplane. Incredibly portable. That right there is just a huge plus for me because like I said, I need a pack light because I need to be able to pack everything into basically a small bag if I can for the majority of the shoots that I do. So if I open this up, this is called the YN600. One thing that I do have to clarify with these sort of reviews is that the reviews are really loose. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that do an amazing job of going over every fine detail of a lot of this equipment that I talk about, but I don't know, I also honestly don't have the same pull and drive to get super techie. For me, I just want to be shooting, I want to be creating, and it's like, if this works, it works. If it doesn't, then I'll just try something else. So I can let you know more knee-jerk reactions on what works for me and what doesn't, as opposed to being like, well, this has an exact luminous output of various blah, 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 blah. But yeah, that's just a quick disclaimer if I'm like not covering this in the perfect way that you might be looking for, but hopefully this will give you kind of a cool little hands-on, well, not hands-on because you're not gonna touch it, but I'll make sure that I have enough hands-on to show you what it looks like. Right off the bat, it has awesome barn doors, so you can really help funnel the light, which is amazing. The fact that they're built in is a huge plus because a lot of other LED panels that you buy are typically just this. They're just this panel right here, and they have none of the barn doors. The fact that these are right here, I mean, they're a little flimsy, but it's also a super lightweight light, so you don't need anything as robust. So I think that this, for me, is perfect. It gives me a lot of options to either let out the light a big way, or kind of bend it left and right, or to get rid of lens flare. If you're getting too much, you can just kind of bend in the sides and then hopefully your light won't catch the lens flare. So a lot of cool options there. Another huge plus for me is they actually have this slit right in the side where you can actually slide in. I'll grab these. So they have different, of course I grabbed 3 of the exact same. There are, where the heck are these? Aha, there we go. So they actually have a slot in the side where you can slide in different panels to change your diffusion. So this one's just a straight diffuser, which is really nice. It helps the light to not be quite so intense, and it kind of softens it a little bit for your face. So if you're shooting interviews or if you're shooting like products, this can be a really nice way to just get rid of those really harsh light sources and kind of soften everything up. Another option is you can add more of a yellow because this light itself is a 5600 light source, so it's similar to daylight, so it has a very like white bluish tint to it. So if you want to bring it down to more of like a yellow light, then you would just throw in this diffusion right here. So it just slides right into the back, and it really doesn't come out. They're really secure nicely, and you can pop it out. So I like to carry these around with me. If you want other gels and stuff, that is a possibility. I do have these packs of gels, and these work really nice. So if you wanted different colors like red or anything like that, you can just place it right on top of the light and just clip it in with little clips. clips. Another thing I love is how they're battery operated. On the back, there are 2 slots for batteries, and if I take Sony batteries, I can clip them right in. Well, here, I'll actually show you. And as an aside, this is kind of a fun little tip that I do with all my batteries. As I charge them, I just put a small little piece of gaff tape over the front of it, so I know that these are charged and ready to go. So whenever I take the battery out of my bag, right away I know if it's charged and ready for me to use it. After I'm done shooting with it and say the battery is completely drained now, when I unclip it, I can just toss this into my bag. I don't need to worry about putting it in a specific spot. I can literally just take this, toss it in with all my other batteries, and then when it comes time to charge, I can just root around through the bag and find all my batteries that have the tape on the back end as opposed to covering the front. And when they're done, tape comes off, goes on the bottom, right back in my bag again. So that's just a quick little freebie. Anyways, I can take these batteries, and there's 2 slots, so I can actually sit both of them in here. And there we go. So now we have dual power. It will run off 1 battery. So what's really nice is that if you have this turned on, and if you need the light source to stay on the whole time, that's totally fine. As the batteries drain, you can just swap out one, put another one, then swap out the second one, put another one. You can kind of just alternate as you go along. So once the batteries are in, you can just turn it on. It has this little nifty dial wheel right here where you click in on it and that turns on the light, and then your dial wheel controls the intensity. Oh, this is great. Controls the intensity of the light just by going up and down. It's very, very simple and easy to use. There is another button on here for fine, and if you click it, then it goes up by smaller increments. Otherwise, it goes up by 10s. And then what you can do is you can actually check your battery by just clicking on the numbers for the channels, and it'll tell your A battery and your B battery. And right now it says P9, which means that it's at full power. But when it starts to go down, it'll say P8, P9, P6, that sort of deal. And you'll know about how much battery you have left. It also has a power input. So if you wanted to plug in wall power and leave it up for an interview, then you're not gonna drain the batteries, and then you're set to go. And then if you need to move around real quick and grab some B-roll, just unplug that and run around to the battery packs. So you can see it's very versatile and super mobile. I've done full interviews with just the batteries attached, and I've done plenty of shoots. Like even right now for the video that I'm shooting right now, I have the same setup, but it's plugged in. There's no batteries in it, but it runs fine. The only thing you do have to know is that there is a fan built in, and the fan does make noise. It's not super loud, but if you're trying to get like pin drop quiet audio, you will hear this. But if you're just shooting a normal interview like I am right now, you'll never ever pick it up. So it is just something to know, but it's not really anything that bothers me or worries me. So one thing is I do have an addition to this light to give me a few more options when it comes to screwing this into a light stand. By default, in the back, there's just a, nailed it. Okay, 1 second. So by default, on the bottom, there's just a normal quarter 20 screw thread, which can go right onto the top of one of your, tripods. So right away, bam, you're good to go with this light. The only downside is that once my light is set, then I don't have any sort of pivot, or I really can't tilt or pan or do anything with this light. It's just gonna be straight forward facing. So that's sort of a downside to me. So what I did is I got one of these little adapters, and it's just a little knuckle. So it screws into the bottom here, and then what it does is it gives you just the same threading on the bottom as well, but it also gives you a little ball and socket. So once I screw this in, now my light, I have full mobility for the light itself. So I can tighten it straight up like it was, I can unloosen it and bend it over to any angle that I want. And if you want to see how bright this light is, it really outputs a ton. So let me actually kill all the lights in here real quick. All right, so now it's completely dark. Whoa. So this is, ooh, this is like the Dark Knight interrogation scene. For being so little, I can't get enough of this. Like, it's completely blowing me out right now. So I also do like using these lights like off to the camera side, because they do actually create some really cool lens flares. A final addition to this light that I love to use is this additional soft box. Now it actually rolls up into this tiny little pouch, which I love because it's super portable and it compacts really, really tight. So what I'll do is I'll show you real quick. Just unscrew it and out pops a soft box. It's a little rectangle, and then there's Velcro on the back, and here I'll just show you real quick. And it only takes a couple of seconds to install. So you just flip the barn doors open, and then once you're done with that, you would just clip up the little magnetic strips here. And then in a matter of honestly like 15 seconds, you have a really, really nice softbox. And this is like a huge win for me for interviews and all that sort of stuff. It really, really, really is beautiful. I'm using it right now for the video that I'm shooting right off camera, and it's so compact that you can throw it all in a bag together without any issue at all. And once again, doesn't add on really any weight at all. And yeah, and next thing you know, you have just a really nice robust light that you can take anywhere. It looks really professional, and I've had no issues whatsoever. And the setup teardown time is just stupid quick. So that's a huge win for me. And the best part is, it's all really cheap. This is like 20 bucks for this softbox. And I've been using them for like a few years and on so many different shoots, and I've never had any issue whatsoever. Nothing's ever broke on them. They always roll back into a nice compact little pouch like this, no problem. And I've traveled everywhere with them. I've even brought them on planes because they're so tiny. You can just stuff them back in the pouch and it fits right with your light. Bam, there you go, easy to go. Easy, easy to go. So yeah, I think that's a good overview of this light. Finally, this is sort of like the little baby sister, little baby brother, and this is a YN216, but this little guy is amazing as a kicker. And I have talked about it in other videos, but here, I'll pop up this battery, and it is battery powered. It also is wall powered as well, which is like a super huge plus for me. It even has a little hot shoe, so you can stick it on the top of your DSLR camera, or just hold it in your hand like a flashlight. So many options. A lot of times it works really great to have somebody right off camera and kind of move it around for music videos, or if you just want some sort of strobe effect. It's just awesome to have these little portable lights. One thing that's nice about this light is that it has adjustable color temperature. So you actually have two different controls. It's a little wonky because it's not easily scalable. You kind of do plus and minus of each thing, if that makes sense. So you do, you have your 55K, and then it dials, it either adds or subtracts it. And then you have your 32K, and that adds or subtracts. It's a little separate, and you kind of have to gauge where it's at. There's no real number readout. But if you want to make it more yellow, you can make it more yellow. If you want it to be blue, you can make it more blue. So it's, in that regard, if you're just eyeballing it, it works out pretty well, but it's not super technical. I do love the size of it, very compact. It does come with some different filters, different colored filters, which just click right on. Super simple. And now you have a blue light. Really cool. It has, and this all comes with it. This isn't a separate purchase, which is nice to have on hand. Red, you have orange, and you have just standard diffusion as well, if you just want it to be nice and soft. So right there's a really nice addition. It does have these little barn doors that come along with it as well, so if you want to kind of more spotlight the light, you can do that. And it does have wall power, like I mentioned before, so the same exact power adapter that you use for the bigger lights you use for this light, so you can just click it right in. And it does have a 1/4-20 screw thread on the bottom, and it does actually have built in an adjustable up and down tilt. So if you want to lock this onto a tripod, you do have up and down movement. And finally, it does have these little shoe bracket holder things. There's literally, there's so many things that I don't think actually have real names, and they just leave it up to us, like the people, to come up with names. But anyway, so you click it in, and then now it is, I don't know if the camera can see it, but now it's freestanding. So now you could literally just place this anywhere on a table. I love this light. It's so compact and so little. It works really well as a hair light. You wouldn't really want to use this as a key light. One thing you could use it for nicely though is if you are shooting like backstage concert or something like that, and you need to be really mobile. So you could have somebody hold this, or you could clip it right into the camera yourself. And so if it was more run and gun, more documentary feel, then this is awesome because it really shines out a really nice bright center of light. In fact, let me just turn everything on. Here we go. So now you can see it's just a really nice spotlight. There you go, blue, bam, music video, like in 5 seconds. Let's go red. So anyways, you get the idea. This light is awesome. I think you'll really find yourself using it for a lot of different things just because of how tiny it is. I mean, look at when you compact it, take off the battery here, you take off the plate. I mean, look how tiny this is. I actually pack everything into just this field bag that I have. Just this little nylon bag, and I can pack 3 of these lights of the 600s, 2 of the 216s, 3 soft boxes, a bunch of chargers and batteries on the side, and it all goes into just one little bag like this. And so if you have to run out and shoot a quick little gig, a quick interview, or maybe it's a really low budget music video and you just need to run in and just get some shots real quick, I think that but it's really useful. And it's fun to have these kind of fun little toys to have in your arsenal that you can just bring along. Like I said, I bring that along to every shoot, even bigger shoots, because a lot of times you find, oh, if we just had a quick little soft light here, and honestly, this is so much quicker to just set up and run out than it would be a whole other big lighting rig. I'll have links in the description below for everything that we talked about here today, because you kind of have to piecemeal it together. Unfortunately, there's no real package that gives you all of that together, but I'll have links to everything down below, and you can grab something if you like. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. So yeah, thank you so much for checking out this video. Let me know what you guys use if it isn't these lights, or if you tried them out, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on them. I get a lot of use out of them, and I'd love to know what you guys think. But in the meantime, keep shooting, stay happy, and I'll catch you guys at the next video, all right? Peace!